Moving, mountain valorization through interconnectedness and green growth is a Horizon 2020 project running from 2020 to 2024, coordinated by the University of Córdoba, comparing 23 mountain regions. The project focuses on how value chains contribute to the resilience and sustainability of mountain areas. This video explains how our case study is responding to perceived threats and how value chains can harness local adaptive capacity in the mountains. Within Scotland, our case study area is Badenoch, Strathspey and West Moray, or loosely understood as Upper Speyside. This mountain landscape is a highly scenic area valued for outdoor recreation and wildlife, and contains a mosaic of grazed lands, forests and parts of the Cairngorm Mountains, which provides the headwaters for the River Spey. The area includes part of the Cairngorms National Park, and residents of the area live mainly in rural areas, working in a range of economic sectors including the tourism sector and whisky production. We focus on Speyside Malt Whisky as our focal value chain due to its important role within the Scottish economy, connection to water resources, and as an alternative rural industry to livestock production and forestry. Speyside is one of 5 Scotch whisky regions. Scotch whisky with Protected Geographical Indication (PGI) accounts for around 75% of Scotland's food and drink exports. In our study, we also have explored the linkages between whisky and food and drink tourism, as this interaction offers many opportunities for local businesses. In this short video, we will highlight some of the key threats that the whisky and food and drink tourism sectors in Speyside face, along with various suggestions as to how these threats can be reduced to enhance the resilience of the Speyside area more broadly. These suggestions were formulated by both the research team and a range of interested participants from policy, business and the local communities. Through our research, we identified several potential threats to Upper Speyside and our value chains, be these environmental, social, economic or political. The most pressing threats to the area at the whisky, food and drink tourism value chain were the availability of skilled labour and the availability of affordable housing for workers. The availability of skilled labour was considered a threat due to the industry's need for labour to sustain itself, something which has faced additional challenges in recent years due to COVID lockdowns and potentially the impacts of Brexit on the availability of workers from the EU. Furthermore, there can be a draw away from these sectors and locations to more urban areas due to the seasonal and insecure nature of many of the tourism jobs in these value chains. Secondly, the availability of affordable housing for workers was a threat due to a lack of affordable options for housing within the Speyside area, with many houses being used for tourist accommodation. Other services beyond housing, such as schools and medical services, were also important. These findings show that although mountains are fragile biophysical environments, many of the threats are socio-economic. Our case is also unusual as the area has a growing population and the threat is about how to manage growth, not decline. Additionally, with the aim of improving the resilience of the value chains and the Upper Speyside area more generally, some adaptations were suggested. These adaptations were suggested for each threat. The adaptation which participants thought would have most potential to be implemented to build resilience was training, apprenticeships and changing young people's perception of the industry. This adaptation could improve the resilience of the industry by highlighting that secure and longer-term jobs do exist within the value chains, improving the career prospects of young people in the area and helping them to remain living in the area for longer, if appropriate housing was available. Furthermore, there has been a sustained focus on improving the engagement of young people in the discussions around value chains and resilience and sustainability of their areas, including workshops, field trips and career fairs. Capacity to respond to threats is being activated in the area. It often requires different sectors and organisations to work together, supported by regional governance bodies such as the National Park Authority. Speyside Malt Whisky and the local food and drink tourism value chains are key rural industries within Speyside. However, their resilience is threatened in several ways, including labour shortage and a lack of affordable housing options. Although whisky, food and drink tourism are flourishing industries, participants felt they were facing serious threats. One proposed solution is to improve the training opportunities for young people in the area on the careers in the value chains, and to therefore promote and change the perception of the industry to young people. The next steps of the Moving project will focus on improving the sustainability of our case study area through a series of scenario planning exercises, as well as exploring and comparing the findings to date across the 23 case study regions. The research team and our contact details are now highlighted. Thank you for your attention.